Hi guys, I'm Izzy and you're watching today's episode of Generation Imagination. We're stepping away from the month of Halloween to inform you of something extremely important for you of-age teenagers out there, voting on November 6th or Election Day. Today we've got a panel of teenagers who are experts on the topic of voting to discuss the basics. Why should you vote? How do you register? How does voting work? What can you do to spread your voice if you can't vote?
Let's get to it.
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Milan.
What's up? I'm Meg.
And I'm Kara.
So why is voting so crucial in the United States?
Voting is the easiest and most impactful way to spread your opinions and ideas through your peers and other qualified voters.
By voting, you're exercising a constitutional right and common responsibility of participating within your government. You're submitting your research and beliefs on what's best for the country, state, or county in a public election. And your research and ideas will have a measurable impact on the area.
Is every election different? What's the difference between a national presidential election or a local taxpayer election?
In the United States, your vote is directly impacting the result of the election. For example, if you and 51% of your county vote on a referendum, then the referendum will be passed. However, presidential elections are a little bit different. In these cases, your votes are submitted to a governmental subcommittee called the Electoral College. This consists of 538 representatives pulled from each of the 50 states.
Each state's representatives review their state's vote and then vote either along party lines or along the popular vote, depending on their contract.
So in some elections, you have a direct voice on the result, but in other elections, your voice is given to the committees.
That doesn't mean that voting in a national election, where your vote has less of an impact, is any less important.
Even in national elections, your voice has an impact, and voting is a civic responsibility along with the constitutional right.
Okay, so you've convinced me to vote. Now, where do I get started?
The last day to register in the 2018 election was October 9th. However, during an election year, you'll register to vote within your state.
You can register for voting in your state, county, or websites like vote.gov. Registering is the first step in the process of voting. This ensures that you're a legal citizen of the United States who is eligible to vote. If you're out of your country or home state, you can vote by mail, which is a process in which you send your choice of candidates or tax programs by mail. This is also an option if you can't get to the ballots on election day.
Your next step after registering to vote is to do your research. You need to decide which candidates you want to support in this election and which referendums you want to see passed in your local elections.
Especially on the local level, your voice matters. These votes will directly impact your local life in the next year. Doing your research is super important to ensure that you are educated on who you're voting for and that your views align with theirs. Don't be discouraged by people who vote purely along party lines as well. Voting for the candidate who you believe will represent you the best and represent the country the best is the end game, not just voting for your political party.
Even if you're not of age to vote yet, you can still spread your voice around election time. How would you suggest spreading your voice?
All year round, you're able to write, call, or email your representatives in order to see issues within your state or national government that you wish to be changed. Interacting with your local and state officials is a great way to spread your voice even if you're underage. Additionally, you can talk to your parents about their choice of candidate or tax form for this election. Even if you can't convince them to vote towards your chosen path, you can gain an additional viewpoint from the discussion with them and maybe even change your mind as well.
Talk to your friends who are of age to vote as well. Encourage them to register and to do their part and vote. Voting is critical in a time where your voice can be lost very quickly in a large country.
Last question, and it's an open book one. Why is it especially important for teenagers to vote?
It's critical for teenagers to start voting because their tabula rasa isn't fully developed, and the habits that you develop as a teenager will stay with you for the rest of your life. If you develop the habit of doing your research and figuring out which candidate you align most with, you're more likely to do that for the rest of your life and to fulfill your civic responsibility of voting.
It's especially important for teenagers to vote because they're the future of the country. While it may not seem important now, and while adults may tell you you don't have much of a voice, you really do, and it's important to get out there and voice your opinions now so that you have the effects that you want as you get older. It's important to have equal representation in this country and to make sure that we're representing the idea of the whole. So in order to do this, we need to make sure that we have everybody's votes and everybody's opinion laid down. And right now, teenagers have the smallest number of people who are voting and registered to vote. So it's important that they are able to register and vote so that their ideas their thoughts are being represented within government.
If you're of age and watching this video, please make sure you're registered to vote and start planning for Election Day now.
Do your research.
And exercise your civic duty to vote.
Before we go, I want to say a huge thank you for Milan, Meg, and Kara for coming out to today's video and discussing this with us. This is such an important topic for teenagers to follow.
What do you think is the most important reason to vote? Let us know in the comments.
That's all we've got for today's video, guys. We'll be back next Wednesday with another video.
It's Meg,
Milan,
Kara.
And Izzy,
signing off.
Wait, am I filming this or taking a picture? Oh.